Welcome back everybody to another video. Today is going to be another My History With video. And normally the My History With videos are normally quite very long. But today, this one is going to be about my history of Pokemon. Basically, I'm going to be talking about every Pokemon game from Generation 1 to Generation 9 all the way to Scarlet and Violet. So yeah, this is going to be quite a long video. But normally all my videos about this series normally last at least nearly an hour. So I'm going to try my best to not make it as long as possible. Because my phone can't hold that kind of memory. So basically, I'm going to be trying my best to make this as short as possible. I'm just going to be talking about each generation. And I'm going to give my thoughts on every single one. I'm going to give my thoughts on every single one. Let's just turn that up just a tad. And, yeah, let's get on with it. You know, the quicker we do this, the quicker we can get this done. So, yeah, I'm going to be going through every single Pokemon game. Now, I'm only going to be going through the mainline Pokemon games. I'm not going to be talking about the side games like Mystery Dungeon and all that. Even though I've played a few of them, I'm not going to be talking about them. I'm only going to be talking about the main Pokemon games, which were the original Red, Blue, and Yellow, all the way to Scarlet and Violet. So if you guys do not like that I don't mention any of the Pokemon side games, that's why. I'm only focusing on the mainline Pokemon games. So we're going to be beginning with the originals, Red, Blue, and Yellow, on the Game Boy Color. These are the first Pokemon games I kind of played first. My brother mainly had them. Since we had all three versions, I think I played Red version, and my brother played, obviously, Yellow version because everything was in color. But overall, these games were like the very first Pokemon games. And I don't have a lot of memory with them, but, you know, they are nostalgic. That's really all Red, Blue, and Yellow are. They're just nostalgic games, and they're just very nostalgic, and they're infamous for being very, very glitchy, because obviously they were the first games ever made, and things have definitely sort of gotten better over the years. So, that's really all my thoughts on the original Red, Blue, and Yellow. I can't really talk about it too much. If you've played the original Red, Blue, and Yellow, you'll know what that's all about. There's also a remake of it, which we will get to in a moment. Generation 2 was Gold, Silver, and Crystal. This one was based in the Johto region. This one had more new Pokemon. This one had new Pokemon, new starters, new legendaries. If there's one thing I will say about Pokemon, the one thing that Pokemon always loves making me do is collect all the legendaries. That's one of my main favorite tasks in playing Pokemon. Once I'm done with the main game, I go find all the legendaries and I collect them all. So, my favorite one out of all the legendaries from Gen 1 is definitely Zapdos. And Gen 2, my favorite was definitely been Ho-Oh. Gen 2 is really fun. I actually really like Gold and Silver. The remakes, Heart Gold and Soul Silver, are definitely one of the best games they've made. So, it's definitely one of the best remakes they've done. So, yeah. If you really are into RPG games, which that's what Pokemon are, RPG turn-based, then I guess Gold and Silver could be the first games for you. Then we get into my personal favourites of the Pokemon games, which are Gen 3, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. I mainly love Ruby and Sapphire because of the anime, because I loved the Ruby and Sapphire anime. I thought that was really good. And the Ruby and Sapphire games as a whole, I think are just easily my favourite games. They were always the ones I put more time into playing. I put the most time into playing them, and I was super happy when the remakes of those games, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, came out. I thought it was really fun. Like, Gen 3 is always one of my all-time favorites. I loved all the new Pokemon. My definite favorite legendaries are definitely Groudon and Rayquaza. And definitely Trico is definitely the best starter out of all of them. Such a great generation of Pokemon. I definitely enjoy it. And there's obviously a lot of evil teams, like this Team Magma and Team Aqua in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. And yeah, Team Rocket were the enemies in the first two generations. Why didn't I mention these? Because I'm trying to get through this as quickly as possible. Gen 4, Diamond and Pearl, the one games that everybody's been demanding remakes of, and as soon as the remakes happen, everyone start bitching and moaning about them, saying that they've ruined the nostalgia of Diamond and Pearl, which that is completely untrue, because you asked for Diamond and Pearl remakes, and they gave you Diamond and Pearl. They didn't add anything involving to Platinum, which that was the third game, Platinum. Diamond and Pearl are infamous for being a very weird bunch of games, because Game Freak really messed up the gym leaders quite a fair bit. They didn't add a lot of fire types in that. Platinum fixed that issue, and that's why people wanted Diamond and Pearl remakes, because they thought it was long enough, but then when they got the remakes, everybody calls them a pile of crap, because it's basically Diamond and Pearl. Well, yeah, it's Diamond and Pearl, because you asked for Diamond and Pearl remakes. You didn't ask for a Pokemon Platinum remake. But, you know, but, people did hope for Platinum stuff to be involved in Diamond and Pearl, and I will agree they should have added some Platinum stuff in those games. They should definitely add some Platinum stuff into those games. But that's why it's called Diamond and Pearl remakes. They're faithful to Diamond and Pearl, not Platinum. But yes, they should have added Platinum stuff. I'm not trying to say they shouldn't have. They definitely should have when it came to the remakes. Platinum is easily the best one to play if you're going to play the Diamond and Pearl Gen 4 games. But yeah, Platinum's definitely the game you want to play. Because Diamond and Pearl, yeah, they're not very fun. They're not very fun. They're not very good. The level scaling is ridiculous in that game. Like, by the time you get to the damn league, like, your Pokemon are, like, pretty low 40s, and then, like, the Elite Four and Champion are, like, high 50s, near 60s. Like, it's bloody ridiculous. So, Platinum definitely is a definite better game, because at least the level scaling is a bit better. Black and White. You know, Black and White, and Black and White 2, because they're clashed together as Gen 5. You know, I don't hate Black and White. I hate the Black and White anime. I hate the Black and White anime. The Black and White anime is kind of what stopped me from wanting to watch the anime. But overall, the games themselves are actually really good. Like, people crapped on Black and White. People really crapped on Black and White. But personally, I enjoyed them. Personally, they were easily one of my favorites. I got a lot of fan-favorite soundtracks in those games. And I guess that's another thing I kind of glossed over. The soundtracks in the Pokemon games can be very, very good. Very, very good, because one of them is playing in the background right now. But overall, I really liked the Black and White games. I think people just didn't give Black and White the credit they deserved. I think they are very underrated. But, you know, as what the people say, the underrated gem. You know, that's what a lot of people say. So I consider Black and White an underrated gem, and they're definitely very fun to play, and I definitely miss revisiting them, because I wish I could revisit those games again, because they're really damn fun. They're really damn fun to play. Next we got X and Y, which is Generation 6. X and Y, I don't hate them either. I don't hate Generation 6. I think X and Y are pretty fun. But the problem is the game is really easy. The problem is the games are very easy. The other problem is that they don't add Mega Evolution to a lot of the boss fights. Because Mega Evolution was like the key point of those games. But they only give Mega Evolution to a few of the boss battles. Like they give it to Lysander, the main boss of Team Flare. They give it to Diantha. And they give it to Karina when you do the Lucario battle. So that's really like 3 times you experience Mega Evolution. Which I think is kind of silly. I think they should have added more Mega Evolution battles. And I think the level scaling was kind of crap as well. But they were more trying to make it easy for the kids. Like the new people that were getting into Pokemon. But I understand that. But I think they definitely should have just stick to the main mechanic, which was Mega Evolution. And people loved Mega Evolution, and the company has never made any more Mega Evolutions again. Generation 7 is the Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. So Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon are kind of like black and white. But the difference is, I'm not really a big fan of these games. I wasn't like these are like easily my least favorite Pokemon games. Like, I didn't hate them, but they were just definitely not games I wanted to go back and revisit. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are definitely better than Sun and Moon, but ultimately these were just games I didn't really personally find myself really enjoying all that much, because, you know, the cutscenes, like, there was just a shit ton of cutscenes. And it's just one of those things, you know, they just weren't personally my favorite. They are definitely the weakest of the bunch. And then we get to Generation 8, Sword and Shield. If you guys have seen my review of Sword and Shield, you guys know my thoughts about this game. It's easily one of the best Pokemon games I think I've ever played. There was barely any glitches in this one, because people talk about the Scarlet and Violet glitches. But I just want to tell you guys this right now. Sword and Shield is the most functional Switch game you could easily play. And there's barely any glitches, there are barely any issues with it. But my god, Sword and Shield is definitely the best Pokemon games out there. They're so much fun, and I'm not saying this just because of this character named Nessa. I'm not saying it just because of this one particular character that I like. I just think the games are great. I think they're really good. I think they're really good. I think people just really wanted to crap on these games because, you know, that's what the internet does. The internet just wants to crap on something because it's the cool thing to do. And because I've seen a lot of people crap on Scarlet and Violet, you know what I hear now? You know what I hear now when, you know, a lot of people talk about the issues that Scarlet and Violet have? A lot of people now say, man, damn, we didn't really give Sword and Shield the credit it deserved. Man, it was such a great game. We didn't really give that game enough love and enough credit. Exactly. Exactly. Now, Sword and Shield are great. Sword and Shield have always been great games. I always stuck to my guns that they were great games. And I still say they are. They are easily my most favourite Pokemon games. If there's any Pokemon games I would go back and play, it'd be these games. These games easily. And then we get to one of the... And then also there was this other game on the Switch. They were the first released games onto the Switch. I don't know if we should consider them Gen 8 or Gen 7. I don't know where to put these. This was the Let's Go games. The Let's Go games are like one of the first Pokemon games on the Switch. It's where you use your controller and you turn it into like a mechanic where you're like throwing the Pokeball. It's like playing Pokemon Go on your phone, but instead you're sitting down in front of a TV and then using your remote control as like a remote to throw your Pokeball. I didn't mind these. It was fun the first time. It was fun the first time I played it, but I recently tried to revisit it and turn it into a Let's Play on my channel, but I got really, really bored and I couldn't really finish it. So I ended up cancelling the Let's Play and deleted all the videos off the channel. I just couldn't really finish it. It just wasn't really something I really enjoyed. Like, it was fun the first time, but after a while, I just personally didn't really enjoy them all that much. They're basically just remakes of Red, Blue, and Yellow. Well, mainly Yellow. They're mainly remakes of Yellow. But, yeah, I didn't really personally enjoy them. Like, they were fun, but they were just games I just couldn't really get back into playing. And another game that is considered mainline is one of the Pokemon games I never reviewed on this channel, or even Let's Played on the channel, is Pokemon Legends Arceus. Now, this is something I've kind of wanted to Let's Play on the channel, but I wasn't really sure if people were going to like it. I could get around to doing this eventually, but Pokemon Legends Arceus was kind of the first open world game. People consider it the first open world game, but it wasn't really considered one. Legends Arceus is basically the Sinnoh region from many years ago when it was called the Hisui region. And you're basically catching Pokemon from the Sinnoh region to basically fill out a Pokédex. And Arceus, the legend Arceus, the legendary mythical Pokemon, the god of all Pokemon, basically sends you on an assignment to go catch all the Pokemon in the Hisuian Pokédex. That's basically what Legends Arceus is. And then you're on this assignment. That's basically what it is. People consider these the best Pokemon games. They are fun. But I will say this, I don't find them more fun than Sword and Shield. But I will say they are enjoyable. I may consider Let's Playing this one day on the channel if I ever feel like it. But right now, it's just not something I feel like I would want to do on the channel. If you do want to see it, I will eventually get around to doing it. And now finally, the final game we're going to be talking about is obviously Scarlet and Violet. You've heard my thoughts on Scarlet and Violet in my recent review about it, but if you haven't, I'll give you guys a quick summary. They're fine games. They're fine games if you ignore the weird bugs, if you ignore the bugs and all the issues the game has. They're tolerable and you can get through it. It's the first ever official open world game. If you're into open world games, they're definitely something you can play. That's really it. That's really it. They're definitely fun. If you ignore all the bugs and the issues that are with it, you can get through it no problem. Definitely fun games. Still currently getting through my Scarlet playthrough. Don't worry guys, I will get around to it. I will get around to it. It's just, I've just been very busy. So anyway, that is my video. My quick rundown of my history of the mainline Pokemon games. Again, the side games do not count, like Mystery Dungeon and all them. They don't count. It's just the mainline games. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give me your thoughts down below. Tell me your favorite Pokemon games and why. And I will see you all in the next video. Catch you later.